Good morning. Welcome back to Acre Homestead, friend. Today is an exciting day. We are harvesting the potatoes. My dad and I planted these potatoes about 3.5 months ago. And today is the day my parents are coming over and we are harvesting all the potatoes and black beans. These are some of the produce boxes that I got when I went to the local farm to buy the corn. And I thought that these would be really good for harvesting the potatoes because we could put a reasonable amount in them. They have handles. We can put them in the back of our little side-by-side here and get them out of the garden, hopefully get them down in the pantry, and hopefully it's gonna be a good harvest. So I also have my harvest apron. I have been forgetting to grab this out. I'm so excited to have my harvest apron back on and ready for the day. My parents should be here in just a minute. I need to go grab a pitchfork so we can dig out these potatoes. I have some gloves in here. I don't know if my parents are bringing gloves. I need to find gloves for them if they need some gloves. And let me go see if I can find a pitchfork. I know that I have one. I just have to see if I can find where it is. Okay, we got one. Grab a shovel too. And I think that'll be good. It's got a little bent out of shape in the move, I think, and so I'm going to see if my dad can fix that. The funny thing is, last year when my parents and I dug up potatoes, it had rained the day before, and it hadn't rained in about 3 months. Same thing today. It rained yesterday. I think they're here. And it hadn't rained in months. So my parents just got here. I think it should be dried out enough, and we are gonna go dig some potatoes. Perfect timing. Ideally, you would harvest potatoes when it's been completely dry, but today's the day my parents are available to help me, and today's the day we're gonna dig potatoes. We're just gonna make the best of it. I grabbed a couple other essentials that we're gonna need for harvesting the black beans. I grabbed a basket and some snippers. So let's drive this thing down to the garden and get to work. I might need one more basket. I'm gonna grab one more basket because I think there's probably a lot of tomatoes out there too that need to be picked. And it just started sprinkling. It's gonna be a fun day, even if it's sprinkling. So my dad just got here and he helped me get around this corner. We were able to do it in the side-by-side, which was great. So this bed here, him and I planted back, what was it, April 13th or something like that?
Something I couldn't remember. I was going to ask you.
I had to look it up in our text. I think it was April 13th. In this bed, we've got a couple things. The only type of potato we have in here is red Kennebec. And we've got this sunflower. I was okay if the sunflower, was collateral damage right here, but my dad wants to try to save the sunflower, so we're going to try to save this.
Still growing.
Yeah, I'll be able to for sure get the seeds if we can't save it, so it'll be okay. We've got some zinnias here we're going to try to save as well, and then I have a volunteer squash. There's one here, and it does have a squash on it, and it is growing out of kind of this section right here where I had already dug up one potato plant. And then we have this one. So if we can keep them, we'll keep them. If they end up being collateral damage, that is okay. So Dad, you can just start digging.
Got a shovel, and we have a pitchfork, which I think I bent last year. So I think this is completely from last year.
So this corner right here, I already dug the potato out of that very, very corner one right there. Yep.
Good. All right, we're good. Let's do this. Let's bring it through the zinc.
That's a good idea.
This. All right, and then we got this, so we're going to put this. And then what about these onions here?
Don't worry about them. They were extra, so if the potatoes are the most important.
Now we, just to remember, we planted them about 10 to 12 inches deep, you told me.
Yes,
so
they're going to be.
So we're gonna go down at least that far and a little more to see what we've got.
They're gonna be a good foot under the ground. Well, my dad's working on this, so we have 2 beds. This is bed number 1. This is the 3rd bed I'm gonna be working on. These are the sweet potatoes, and they are ready, not sweet potatoes, they are the black beans, and they're ready to be harvested. I like to harvest them before they start opening because they're starting to dry out. So the black beans here, these are the bean pods right here. And they've already started to dry out a little bit. And what will happen if you leave them on the vine a little too long, they'll actually start to split and open up because they want to replant themselves. So I want to harvest them before they do that. Let me show you the inside of them. There's some beautiful black beans. He just started.
Oh, treasure hunting. See, we're already beginning.
What's that red right there?
Oh, look
look
at, hey,
at
check.
him.
Oh, I cut one in half. Ooh,
So
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Got 2 and a half.
Yeah.
That's okay. So what we should do, Dad, is if we have ones we stab or cut, let's put those in a different box. My mom just got here.
Hey there, how are ya?
Can I put those in this?
Yep. So we have 1 box for compost, 1 box for ones that are going to go into storage,
Maybe we should use the pitchfork.
and then 1 box for ones that will need to be eaten right away.
Oh, that was weird. Oh, got another. Shoot.
Have better luck with the pitchfork.
What I want to do. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Get some?
Yep. Just get them from the edge.
I think there's
There we
part of one.
go. Now we're finding out.
I think they're going to be deeper than we expect.
Yeah. Yeah, because we started, I remember digging that down. That was deep. Yeah, you're right. Look at this.
Oh yeah, here's some.
Now
Oh, my
that
goodness.
is the biggest potato we have picked so far. Check that out. That is amazing. So we're seeing them. Here they are. Nice soil. I think they are a little bit deeper.
Oh yeah, I think we lost that. That's okay.
Just want to gently unearth it so that it doesn't stab. Look at this.
Oh
Wow.
wow. Wow, that's
Check
huge.
that out. So this is very good.
So here is
think
you
we
want
got
the
it.
irrigation.
Yep, well, I want to make sure we don't want to do this, take our time doing this so we don't damage anything. And get deep enough so that we don't miss anything. So we'll take our time today. This is treasure hunting. Yep, see? All sizes, look.
There we
Oh,
go.
look at this.
Oh wow.
Okay, there's a piece.
There's a piece. I think that's from earlier.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a bit windy, so I will kind of talk you through what is happening here. I end up stabbing one of the biggest potatoes I think I grew, and I'm looking at it and I'm a little confused because I'm starting to see eyes forming on this potato, which means this potato is starting to grow and wanting to produce more potatoes. So I'm thinking that I may have waited a little too long to harvest these potatoes. I've never grown this variety of potato before, and I've never seen that happen. And so what I end up doing, that particular potato, we end up having to eat right away because I stabbed it and it's not going to store for any length of time. But I end up breaking the eyes off and curing the other ones just like my other potatoes. But I'll show you a close-up later that some of my potatoes look like they've already started growing new potatoes, which is odd. That makes me think I waited a little too long to harvest these potatoes. So while my dad's working on potatoes, I'm going to start working on these black beans. Originally, my plan was to sit here and pick all the black bean pods off the plants and then leave the plants in the garden, but I end up switching that plan, and you'll see as the day progresses why. So these black bean plants are starting to yellow. I'm going to show you kind of a before pan over in just a minute. But the reason they're starting to turn yellow is not because they're lacking nutrients or they're dying at this, or they are dying at this point, but it's not because they're lacking nutrients. It's because these plants are annuals, which means you plant the seed, it grows. The whole purpose of the plant is to produce more seed. These plants have now done that, and so they are starting to die. And if you just let them grow in the ground, then the plants would die back. Those pods of seed would open up, and hopefully they would plant themselves and then grow again the following year. But instead of letting them do that, I'm going to harvest the black beans. So my dad is going to work on potatoes, and my mom and I end up working on the black beans. Potato harvesting is so fun. If you've never done it, I highly recommend it. Potatoes grow really well in containers too. You don't have to have a raised bed or anything like that. I've grown potatoes. See here, you can see the big ones are starting to grow these little bright colored potatoes, which look like new potatoes to me. So if you have any experience with that, let me know. But I have grown potatoes in grow bags, and so if you have a small space, you can certainly grow potatoes in grow bags. And here you can see that it is starting to rain on us.
Do you know what kind it is?
No. So we just found this disgustingly massive spider.
Look how big it is by reference to my hand.
It's huge.
It's black and yellow.
Ooh.
Look from the front. That worked. Oh, no, it didn't.
No.
He's down there somewhere loose. I was going to pull the branches back. Oh, you have to go to the other side. I don't know where he went. He dropped down. See him.
Oh no. Oh, there he is. Ooh. Okay.
Where?
I need gloves. You gonna just grab him?
I'm just gonna,
Okay,
well,
yeah,
don't
check.
run away. I got him.
Let's go let him go out here.
Okay.
Just set them on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, Spidey.
Woo.
There he goes.
That thing is huge. Okay, we'll let him live that way. No.
Coming back this way. Let
Yeah.
me help him go to the off
Yeah, there
the
he
edge.
goes. There he goes. Bye-bye, spider.
Oh, down
Okay.
he went.
I did Google what type of spider that was and if it was dangerous or anything like that. And it's a completely benign garden spider. They're really common in gardens, apparently in the Pacific Northwest in late summer, which is where we're at. And they do help kill bugs. So we didn't want to harm it, but we certainly didn't want it in the garden bed while we were working. So my mom and I's original plan, like I had mentioned earlier, was to pick the pods off these plants in the garden because we kind of wanted to hang out with my dad. But then it started pouring down rain. So then we changed gears and we ended up just pulling all the plants and sticking them in the wheelbarrow my mom grabbed. And we decided we'll process them inside later. But then it stopped raining and you'll just see the progression of this day. But it was not supposed to rain on this day. Originally, our plan was to do this the following day, but then the weather switched and it said that it was supposed to rain the following day. So we moved it up a day and it ended up raining on this day and the following day. So it is what it is. I am still glad I harvested these plants on this day because they needed to be harvested, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit more. And I'll show you how I'm going to handle them so that they don't go bad after we harvest them today, so we can enjoy them this winter.
Oh, hi! I was busy at work, not paying any attention here. I'm crawling around and snipping them at the ground level, totally engrossed in my work.
I wanted to show you, so beans are what are known as nitrogen fixers, and that's why I'm trying to keep the roots in the ground. I was going to try to pull some out and see if I could show you. Okay, here's one where I had pulled the roots out. And right here. Now I've heard some different, do you see those little bumps, like little nodules on that root right there? They look like little beads. So what those are supposed to be nitrogen that is taken from the atmosphere, and the beans are heavy feeders. So they take nitrogen from the atmosphere and they trap it in these little nodules on their roots, and it's supposed to help feed the soil. I've heard some differing things about it. I've heard that if you let the plant go and produce its fruit, like what I have here, these black beans, which is what I want, then that the plant actually uses the nitrogen. It doesn't just leave it in the soil because it needs the nitrogen to do that. So I've heard that if you let it go to fruit, then leaving the roots in doesn't necessarily, trap that nitrogen in the ground, but it can't hurt to leave the roots in, because even if I'm not trapping a bunch of nitrogen in my soil, I'm at least leaving organic material to break down over the winter for my soil.
All right, we're in a new area and we have a zucchini plant we're trying to save. We have the sunflower we're trying to save, and yet we're trying to harvest. But you can see that there are some beautiful potatoes right here. So we're gonna harvest now this little section, move that dirt that way. Try not to disturb it too much, but get out the potatoes without scarring them or cutting them in half. So far so good. Look at what we were doing here. This is amazing.
So here is the after of getting all the black beans up. I'm so happy with the landscape fabric. I kind of cleaned up the nasturtiums that were dead, and then a couple of my sugar snap peas seeded themselves and are starting to grow. And so now it's time to pick off all the black beans from these plants. So it stopped raining, so we thought, let's go ahead and take this opportunity just to continue to hang out with my dad and pick these black bean pods off the plants out in the garden. And my dad is explaining here that the potatoes are a good 12 inches below the ground, and we noticed that this potato, out of all the potatoes, is the only one that an animal definitely got to. So at the base of all of my garden beds, there is hardware cloth, galvanized hardware cloth, to prevent critters from coming up under the ground to harvest the potatoes. But apparently that one got eaten, and I'm not sure what ate it, but it did, and it's no big deal. I have enough to share. So here my mom and I are picking the black bean pods off the plants. And you will be shocked, or at least I was shocked. You might not be shocked, but I was shocked how many beans we get from this one bed.
Well, looks like we might have
Oh my goodness.
the biggest one so far.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Intact. So no damage to the skin, and we're ready to put that one right over here. That's the biggest one so far.
That's huge.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, is there?
Wait
Oh,
Couple more. Oh,
Oh my.
check it
oh
out.
my goodness.
Nice size. Everything's looking good. Not damaging them if we can. Doing most of it by hand, actually, to try to prevent too much damage to the potatoes. All right, we're going to take out the sunflowers and see what treasures are underneath it.
It's banging me in the head. Timber!
Here, let's see what's under it. You got it?
Oh, there's potatoes right in it.
Yep, that's what we wanted. Oh, nice size. Look.
There was a potato. It just timbered over onto me. And then there's potatoes right in it. Oh, yeah, there's one.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Find anything here? Oh, I think there are some right.
Oh, you just chopped one.
Did I get it on? Oh.
It's okay. See, it looks like they're almost
follow the
growing
root.
from
Yeah.
it.
You can follow the root line sometimes and find more.
Oh, there's one.
Yep.
All right, these two.
Yes,
Let's see,
there's
we
root
can
lines.
we got two out of that, but we got one for dinner.
Oh, this one didn't even bloom.
All right, here's some.
Oh, I smell some mint. Somebody got some mint going.
I want to save the seed from these sunflowers, so we might not have been able to save the sunflower from the harvest, but you can see if I remove all the petals, here are the seeds. So I'm going to put this in the truck so they don't get rained on. That one's not mature yet, but these two have mature sunflowers.
Okay, this is good. We've got all these plants here that are right here. We're trying not to stab. We're trying to move it without bothering this. And then we lift, and we will discover.
Oh,
There we go.
oh yeah, there's
There
some
we
good
go.
ones in there.
Without damaging too much, but they do grow very close to the edge. So we do have, but
That's okay.
check this out. Got all these out without bothering them. Check this out. Here's one.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the big
Whoa. Okay. Oh, there's another one in there, I see.
one. Okay, where's the other one? This one.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That's way better than last year's potatoes.
It has been in the 90s and now it's raining. So we're going to wheelbarrow this up to the porch and we're going to do this covered because I really don't want these black beans to get soaked. We're going to leave my dad to picking potatoes. Are you okay out here?
Oh, yeah.
Do you need anything?
Nope.
Okay. We'll be up.
This way accessible.
Yep. I'll open an umbrella for us. You know, sometimes it's not the perfect ideal time to do something, but sometimes you just got to do it when you can do it, and we can do it right now.
That's right.
So
You got to do it when your assistants can be available.
yeah. My mom and I are going to sit here under this covered patio and we are going to start removing all the black bean pods from the actual plants, and then we will take the foliage of the plant and compost that. We end up getting, well, you'll see how much we end up getting, but 2 full baskets full of black bean pods, which is more than I ever anticipated. So I have grown black beans 4 years in a row. These are black beans that I had saved the seed. So the first year I bought these black bean seeds from M.I. Gardner. It was a $2, no, I think his packets were $1 at that point. Seed packet. I probably planted out 2 packets worth. They grew. We did not eat any of them because I didn't have a tremendous amount, but I saved the seed, and the following year I planted them, and I was able to can 12 quarts of black beans, and I saved 1 quart of black bean seeds to plant. The following year, I just brought a tarp down to my dad because it's pouring, and I did let him know at any point you want to stop harvesting potatoes, you can stop, but he was determined to get 1 whole bed harvested on this day. So I let him have fun with that. So my mom and I are back here with these black beans. So then the following year, I went ahead and I planted an entire 16 by 4 foot raised bed with black beans. This was last year, 2022, and I got absolutely 0 from it because the deer kept eating the plants. The deer would come and mow the plants down, and then they would start growing, and the deer would come back and mow the plants down, and then they would start growing. So I never got anything from them last year. But the year before, in 2021, I had saved enough seed to then plant them this year, 2023, and we were able to get this amazing harvest off of it. So black beans are easy to grow if you don't have deer coming and eating them down. And these plants did have a little bit of a rough start because when they first germinated, the soil was lacking a little bit, and I had mentioned earlier that black beans are pretty heavy feeders. And one thing when I did my soil test is that my soil was deficient in nitrogen. So I had fertilized them with blood meal and organic, like granular fertilizer, and the plants were still not looking very good. And you all had recommended that I use a liquid fertilizer, and that really helped bounce the plants back, and they were able to produce this much. I'm kind of curious if I had amended the bed prior to planting them, if they would have produced even more because they would have had a better start to begin with, but I don't know. I'm happy with this amount. There is something so rewarding about putting in so much effort and your efforts be worth it. And sometimes in gardening and in life in general, you put effort into something and you get nothing for your effort, but it's about the journey. Like last year I planted, an entire bed of black beans and I had nothing to show for it except for time spent in the garden, time spent outside, time moving my body,
time enjoying the process, even if I was a little annoyed and frustrated with the deer, because gardening to me is not just about the final food product, it's about everything that goes into it, and I just love it. So I do it more than just for the food. The food is kind of a bonus when it comes to gardening for me. So here's my dad. He is so awesome, just determined to get these potatoes out of the garden for me.
When my parents first got here and I looked up the weather, it was only supposed to rain until 11. Well, now it's not. Now it's supposed to rain till 2, and now it's not supposed to rain tomorrow. So it is what it is, but that is okay. We still got this big project done. So my dad's still picking potatoes. He said it's nice and refreshing, which is good. And we got all these done. So we're gonna take all of the plants. If I see any random ones in here, I'm gonna pull those out. And I'm gonna put these in the wheelbarrow. So I'm gonna go compost these, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with these so that we protect them from the moisture that they have already gotten. So we got one box full, plus this basket is completely full. So this is just the first step of the black bean harvest. We've got a lot more work ahead of us when it comes to this. But I'm gonna actually bring these downstairs, and then I'll be back to deal with the plants in just a little bit.
Because it has rained on these black bean pods, we need to dry them out. So I'm in my garage collecting cardboard while my mom so graciously found a broom and decided to sweep up all of the bean leaves.
So this is what I'm going to do to have my black beans dry out. Because I'm in the basement, it's dark. I'm going to take this cardboard box and I'm going to open it up. Well, we officially have 2023's black bean harvest in the books. We still have more work to do where that came from, but it's protected, it's out of the rain, it's out of the garden. My dad just let me know that he is done, or almost done, with the first bed. So we're going to, wow, Dad, that is amazing. Were there any sweet potatoes on those sweet potato vines? Yeah. No?
I dug it up. I didn't know. I couldn't get to the potatoes. Was that all right?
Oh, totally fine. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That was just a volunteer thing, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
I planted it again. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna repurpose all this.
Oh,
when I'm
wow.
done.
You've
So we
made
have-
some.
We have 2 of these filled, and they're right.
Oh, good. You put them in there.
They're right
Oh.
there.
Perfect. Okay, so that's another project we're going to work on this afternoon. Okay.
And we have about, 3 feet left, 2.5 feet left.
Awesome.
And we'll put them in here, and we'll finish at least one bed, and then we'll put all the dirt back, repurpose it. And I think we saved a few flowers. That's about it. What's this?
That's comfrey.
Should I just leave that in there because that's at the end?
Yeah, if it comes up, it's fine. It's hardy. It will grow back.
No, nice.
Those look beautiful.
Check that out. Isn't that cool? Oh, dropped it.
So I had randomly planted some onions on the sides of these
They're all
beds,
right in the
and I didn't plant them at any soon enough for them to get to any size. So I'm just gonna pick these and I'll do something with them. They're small, but they're still edible.
Were we going to try to replant them or not?
Mom said they won't replant. I was thinking that maybe I could replant them, and my mom said that they won't replant. So we've got a whole box over here.
The last, I thought, no, maybe there's one more line. Yeah, we got that right there. There we go. Yep. And everything was around 10 to 12 inches down, somewhere a little bit farther, maybe 15, but for the most part, we're probably going to get just over 2.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there were some big,
Were there big worms?
night crawlers in here.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a potato right there, Dad. This is a good sign of healthy soil, so that's exciting. So we're definitely going to keep that.
Yeah, I found a few big ones.
Oh, good. That makes me happy.
Yeah, we'll just kind of work this dirt back, and then I'll bring it all back, either today or.
That's the seed potato because it's rotting, I think. That doesn't smell very good.
See this right here? I think we're gonna get a bunch.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm gonna just push these over
put 'em-
here.
Woo,
Oh,
woo,
shoot,
woo.
I got.
That's okay. This one's perfect, though.
Yeah,
That one.
that one goes to dinner.
We'll have potatoes for dinner tonight. Did you already dig your potatoes up, Dad?
Yep, they didn't do all that well because I don't know. They were indeterminate, and we went ahead and filled the boxes with dirt, to see them sprout off, but they didn't do much. But I mean, we had enough for 3
3 meals?
dinners. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, 3 or 4. So it wasn't a total loss. Always fun to dig them up, even if there's just a few of them.
Now it stopped raining.
Yeah, now I can go in here deeper and I don't mess up the potatoes. This is what I've been doing.
The plant, like if you
Yeah,
get under.
rub-
Oh!
get under 'em and pull them out. Yeah. There's one right there. 2 of them, right there.
See him. Oh, right here.
Yeah, and then
Little one.
Oh, here, I'm not gonna stab your hand. Okay, let's go down this way. This way we can get, and we'll save that one last plant
Oh, there's
over
one.
there. Yeah, they're about. Oh, some of that'll do.
It was definitely great that I was able to come down and help my dad with the final bit of potato harvesting. We still have a whole entire bed that needs to be harvested, and I think what we're going to do is wait until it's not wet. This was not ideal, and if it wasn't for all the circumstances that led up to needing us to do it on this day, then we wouldn't have chose this day. But it was a great day. Memories were made, and I wouldn't do anything different. I would, we enjoyed ourselves. But, if you have the ability to harvest your potatoes when it's dry, that, my friend, is what I would recommend. So do what I recommend, don't do what I do. But it was, it was a great day. We made memories, and my parents are so awesome and always so supportive. And this was really just good memories. So my dad is finishing harvesting the potatoes. We end up cleaning up that raised bed. I'm going to show you how we're going to clean up the raised bed. But while he was doing that, I wanted to finish cleaning up the black bean bed. And I do end up pulling the snapdragons because I kind of wanted to clean up the whole bed. And looking back now, I probably didn't need to do that. What I probably should have done was just cut the the snapdragons off and leaving, a few inches, and they would have kept growing until frost, but I didn't do that. And so it is what it is at this point. But the following day, yeah, the following day, we end up coming out and planting this bed out with a fall crop, and both beds actually. We end up planting both beds out. My dad takes a minute to wash off the soil from the bed just because I'm worried that if we left that soil on there, it might stain the wood. So we do end up cleaning off the tools as well so that the mud doesn't end up just drying on them and then being a pain to clean later. It's always easier to clean things when they're still wet and you can just wash it off. We were able to save the zinnias. Those are still looking fantastic. They actually look better now than they did because they have more area to grow. So I am going to drive the potatoes and the onions up to the house so we can start processing the potatoes and onions. Originally, what I ended up doing was just taking these dirty, muddy potatoes and laying them out on a piece of cardboard because I was thinking they would just dry. But then my mom, dad, and I were talking about it and we're like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Should we wash them off because they're so dirty? And so we end up doing some Googling and we end up following what Google says to do. So I end up dumping all these potatoes out onto this cardboard.
I just wanted to show you, I think this was the granddaddy of all. That was the biggest potato we found. So we got a nice harvest.
And then we end up picking all these potatoes up again because Google said we should not leave this much dirt on them. Now, if you're going to cure your potatoes, ideally you would have harvested them when they were completely dry because it hadn't have rained or you hadn't have watered them for a good week. That is the gold standard. And you wouldn't wash them. You would lay them out and you would let them dry for a few weeks. What this does is it dries out the skin, and this is what is called curing. Curing just means you're drying out the potato and you're letting the skin harden because right now the potato skins are very tender and they scrape off really easily. So during the curing process, you're having the potatoes skin harden, they're drying out, so then you can put them in storage for winter use in a cool, dark environment. But we did not harvest these potatoes in ideal conditions, to say probably the worst conditions possible. The first ones, the potatoes weren't as wet because the soil wasn't as wet, but toward the end, the soil was basically mud. So this was probably the worst case scenario. I'm going to try to time when I harvest the next bed of potatoes a little bit better. We have some dry weather coming up, and so we'll try to do better next time.
So I have never harvested potatoes when it's been this wet before, and so we weren't sure if we should wash them or not. Originally we were thinking, no, let's not wash them, because that's typically what I do when I harvest potatoes. I just pull them out of the ground, lay them on cardboard, put a fan on them for a couple weeks, and let them dry out and cure. But what Google said to do is if there is a lot of dry, sticky dirt or mud on them, then it's best to wash them. And I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get any sticky mud that might be stuck in the eyes off so that they don't mold while they're drying. So that's what we're doing. My dad got those, and I'm going to go get the rest of them. So this is how we have them laid out, and we found two really special ones. Where'd the special ones go? Oh, here it is. There's two of them. There's a heart here and a heart here. So those look great. So the black beans, I've got 2 fans on now, so I'm gonna let these just sit here and dry for about 2 weeks. We got this many onions. Now these are supposed to be bulbing onions, but I will just chop these up. I'll wash them, chop them, and freeze them, and those will be fine. I'll probably get, about a quart bag or so of onions from that, but it was time to harvest these. We decided just to go ahead and just harvest these 2 beds actually. We got 2 beds harvested, the black bean bed and one of the potato beds. I have one more basket of potatoes upstairs. We are gonna eat those in the next couple weeks because they got damaged, so they need to be eaten right away. And right now I'm gonna go take my parents out to lunch as a thank you for helping me getting these 2 beds harvested. We're gonna wait and harvest the second potato bed when it's not raining. We're gonna look for a weak dry spot and we're gonna harvest then. If I notice that these are starting to go bad quicker than the other ones just because of when we harvested them, then we'll just go through them faster. And I'll weigh all the potatoes at the end when I have the other potato bed harvested so we can see how well we did this year as opposed to last year. So we're gonna go freshen up, go to lunch, and then I'll process those onions tonight when I make dinner. And we're probably going to have some potato salad for dinner tonight. So friend, thank you for being here as we got these 2 beds done. I really appreciate you. If you want to watch more of my videos, I can put my videos here. You can go enjoy between now and my next upload. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.
Well, that was fun. Be blessed. That's exciting. Look at the harvest. It's awesome. Bless you.